the Diablo 4 campaign, Vessel of Hatred. Um, it brought us back here into Diablo 4 to give it a try. I haven't played it in about a year. Uh, and frankly, kind of disappointed. Um, it was. So there's a few things to review, right? Number one, the game feels still the same to me. I know that there's changes. I know that they've added in greater rifts and things like this. Um, but playing the game, coming back, playing it, I felt the exact same way that I was feeling last year when I was playing it. The game doesn't really feel that different, which is something that I'm not sure it can feel that different because the base of the game is still the base of the game, right? It still looks the same. It still has spammy
Roxilol became a member.
stuff everywhere. Thank you. It still has, your fights are just kind of all everything. The spells, I don't like the look of the spells in the world. There's still a lot of just like unskippable cutscene stuff where you have to wait for the character to walk over and turn before you can click on them to talk on them. Still just like a lot of that stuff, right? And like go over here to click this interactable, to come over here to find the clue, whatever, right? So it still had a lot of the pieces that I didn't really enjoy about the game back then. So that for me was kind of unfortunate, right? I was hoping I would come back and feel more of something, like I was really enjoying something different, but that was still just rough for me there. So that's number one. Number two, we went through the campaign. It was a little awkward at first because we have the whole like map. Like I started a new character and I immediately had 10 skill points, and I'm gonna like show it, I guess. So like we started a new character, but the new character has like all this stuff already, and then this is the expansion area, I guess, down here. And then I just had like immediate skill points and some things like that. That was a little strange, I would say. So just strange feeling for like starting a new character in an expansion. But it's fine. And then I played through the campaign, and pretty quickly I decided I will come over here and show you. Pretty quickly I decided on playing a passive character. So I saw that there was this toxic skin where they get poisoned when they attack you, and then a little bit of like thorn stuff that we could find. And so for the most part, I pretty much just ended up in a passive build, where I run around and monsters just kind of like hit me a little bit and kind of die, and then I just I cast the toxic skin a little here and there. I didn't really attack a lot, and the game was still incredibly easy, I will say. To go further with this, something that I thought was really the biggest issue was I didn't fight anything. I went through the campaign and I said, I'm going to go through this campaign and I am just going to go to the cutscenes and kind of watch and see the story. And I wanted to like test it out, right? Because I know that there's level scaling in the game. And I wanted to test and see if like, okay, if I don't fight anything on the way, will I run into a boss that just smokes me over and over because I'm not a good level and whatever it was? And the answer was no. I stopped to fight basically nothing whatsoever. And I mean, like, literally, like, basically nothing. Every time I just sprinted on my horse from one cutscene to the next cutscene and then went there and did that story. The only stuff I really fought was when you were in the area and you had to, like, clear, these mobs for the door to open and stuff. That was the only stuff that I actually fought. And somehow I was able to easily make it through the entire game and murder everything, and my character was totally fine. I also never went to town, never talked to a vendor, never touched my stash, never sold an item, never crafted, never upgraded, never did a single thing of any involvement with anything else. My entire play was start a brand new character at level 1, run from cutscene to cutscene, and that was it. And my character had no problem whatsoever and never needed to engage with a single thing. Which at this point makes me feel like, what is this game? This is not a Diablo RPG game. This was a story game. I was on the highest difficulty I was allowed to be on. Hard, I think, because Torment was locked. Everything was locked. So whatever I could get on, I was on. The hardest one I could possibly do. And yeah, I never had to engage with anything. I didn't do any side quests except the first one where I cheered for the soldiers with the emote wheel. That was it. So it felt like I was just playing a story game where, you go, you listen to the story, you walk a little over there, then the story continues, you walk a little over there, then the story continues. There were no puzzles really. It was like Blue's Clues puzzles where they were like, find the 3 things in the room to click on, and then Steve, at one point, I think it was Nayrel. This just killed me. Nayrel was like, we have a riddle here. Water, cave, curtain. What could these 3 words mean? Water, cave, curtain. Maybe it's a cave and there's a water curtain. What could that be? A waterfall. Let's go to the waterfall. And I was like, I didn't do anything. I didn't like, there wasn't like, oh, go solve it and figure it out where. No, she just was like, that's it. And then we like walked to the waterfall and she was like, great job, we did it. And I was like, what the heck? Spoilers, sorry. But she solves the riddle for you anyways, so I didn't really spoil anything there. And it just kind of was that. There was a lot of story. Overall, I played, I think it took about 4 hours to get through the campaign, all the way through to the end there. And that was me like watching all the cutscenes. I would say 3 hours of that was cutscenes. Probably 2.5 hours was cutscenes. An hour of it was riding on a horse. And then to, get to the next cutscene. And then, there's maybe 30 minutes of combat or something like that. I wasn't doing any combat though. I was just doing the combat that I was required to do, but I was really hoping the game would like require me to do more, like actually have me, maybe when I'm running through the open world to get to this next thing, I should stop and kill something. But I never needed to. And one of the other reasons I never needed to is because my character ended up at level 47. 60 is the max level. I ended just this little piece of the campaign at level 47, killing nothing except what was required to be killed. And if I was an editor or had an editor, I would show you a cutscene of all the levels that I gained from opening doors, from watching cutscenes. Oh my God, it was amazing. I gained probably 35 of those levels just from like watching cutscenes. Like if you watch a cutscene and then the cutscene ends, it's like 2 levels, congratulations. Finishing talking to people. It was wild, man. It just like, it feeds you levels constantly. So yeah, so it felt like I could do no wrong. I didn't have to do anything, and I just watched a movie that I walked between. And with all of that, I was still, even from a movie perspective, I was still disappointed because the movie was about like the power of friendship. I'm like here trying to watch a Diablo movie, and it started out kind of cool and a little scary and stuff. And then it just became a thing where like my character was just a therapist, and Nayrel is just like going around, and my character's just like, tell me how you feel. Are you doing okay? And then she like shares her feelings, and I'm like, the power of love will get us through. And it is literally a movie about the power of friendship and you and her traveling through and betrayal and all of this. And we're waiting to fight Mephisto, and then maybe we like kind of do. He's like a dog or something. I don't even know. It didn't seem like much of a Mephisto fight. It was also pretty lame because in the fight there's like a red circle that's like a boundary that you like can't go over, but you can. I was just walking all over the whole arena on the area, and nothing was happening or anything. There were like a couple times in the game where there was that, where it was like, it seemed like there was a boundary, but it didn't actually, you didn't like get hurt if you stepped on it and things. But, the power of friendship was just too strong to be hurt by that, I think. And so then it goes like through this, and then the ending. I mean, again, I don't want to spoil everything, but the ending was real weird. And then it's just like, pew! And that's it. And then Jesus is there, but then we like don't fight him. I don't know, man. Right here, do we have it? What's this? Oh, no, I see that's too much of a spoiler to show. I can't show that, right? All right, spoiler. No, that's too much spoiler. I can't show it all. It's not. It's evil genius. Yeah. So it's I don't know, man. I don't know. Overall, I was pretty disappointed. I cared about lore one time, and Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred is a mediocre movie about the power of friendship. That is what it is. Whatever other things they have that they have added for Endgame or whatever things, I don't know. I'm probably going to go back to D2 and not be engaged with those because, again, the base of Diablo 4 still felt like the base of Diablo 4, which isn't for me. For those of you that like it, totally fine. Yeah. I don't know what else I have to say on it. I feel like I covered it. I was a little disappointed overall, especially for $40 or whatever it is. I guess the last thing, the Spiritborn class. I mean, again, I didn't even engage in combat. I don't know. It seemed fine. It seemed like the monk from D3, but I just kind of ran around with poison skin and then cast my ultimate whenever the cutscene ended because that was it. So, anyways, make your own decisions if you want to purchase it or not. Peace.